Hello beautiful souls, it is Angel Ellena here and I trust that you're doing so well. For some of you who are new here, you might be wondering why I'm making a video that isn't light language or singing or healing. However, in this video I want to talk a little bit about my story. For some of you who have requested this from me specifically. Okay, so this one goes out to all of you beautiful souls who may want to hear about my story, may want to find out more about me, Angel, but who also need a boost and who need some inspiration and some motivation when the going gets tough. Okay, because you know, life isn't always easy, and when it came to my experience, beautiful souls, my upbringing wasn't the easiest either. Now let's dig more into that. Watch till the end if you want to hear more about my story. Okay. No, I didn't grow up in Africa, starving with no food or no parents. However, that doesn't mean that I didn't experience a quote-unquote rough upbringing, at least in modern society, in the Western world that we're in, me, you, right now. So, to get started, beautiful souls, I want to start by saying, look, not everything is as it seems. What you see here, what you see on my channel, and what you may see on other people's channels, on other people's faces and social media is not what it seems. Never, ever, ever. Don't believe it, don't take it at face value, because to be honest with you, it's all a big facade, it's an illusion. Nothing is ever what it seems. And that doesn't mean that people are lying to you, that doesn't mean that we're giving you misinformation. No, complete opposite. It just simply means that what people share with you, as you see it on the internet, are usually just, as someone said to me recently, the best moments. So when you see selfies and happy people, usually that's taken when they felt good. But when they're down, you don't usually see that. So it's almost like you're only seeing really the tip of the iceberg, whereas the iceberg that's submerged under all of this water could be 80% of what's going on. You don't see that. That's not revealed to you. So what isn't revealed to you, beautiful souls? What haven't I, Angel, revealed to you, my beautiful subscribers and my audience? And for some of you who have already requested that I share this, you may have seen some of my previous videos. I've gone a little bit into this subject, but not really fully. I don't know if I'll ever fully get into it. Who knows? Anyway, stick around. This isn't going to be a short one. Now, when I grew up, beautiful souls, let's go all the way back to being a baby. Toddler to age 1. Wasn't easy, single mother, but my dad has always fully supported me. My dad is one of my biggest fans, by the way. He's always watching my videos. He has educated me to such an amazing extent in ways that school could never ever have educated me. So thank you, Dad. And thank you, Mum. But they had their issues, they couldn't be together, and that's on them. That's their stuff. Mum, suffering with various habits such as alcohol, on and off, and Dad with his own stuff. Now, growing up as a young child, being exposed to various forms of vices at a young age definitely taught me a lot. And one of the things it taught me, beautiful souls, was that sometimes, no matter what you've got going on around you, or no matter what you may have here as yourself, as a beautiful being, not everyone can be happy and they don't know how to tolerate their lives, so they resort to various drugs and substances and unhealthy means to express that unhappiness and that dissatisfaction with their lives. Okay? And now I witnessed this as a baby, growing up, all throughout my life, my teen years, up until now. From various people, not just from people who were closest to me. Okay? Also seeing my mum at a young age experiencing multiple abusive relationships, physical abuse, violence in the home, and none of this was ever easy. I remember being as young as age 3, seeing my mum self-harming. I knew how to use a phone when I was 3, believe it or not. I could use computers, I could use phones as young as 2 to 3, okay? Believe it or not, I rang the hospital. I was 3 years old. I managed to ring the hospital because my mum was self-harming and we got her to hospital. I was 3 years old. I woke up in the middle of the night, came down, and that's what I saw. God bless my mother, she's been through so much. And I really feel for her. And seeing what she's been through has really taught me a lot about how to deal with mental health and how to process your emotions and being able to actually heal your trauma and lifetime's worth of past trauma, which is what I now do with my clients who work with me. As some of you already know, and as some of you watching this may also be one of my clients too. Now moving forwards, myself, what I witnessed on a day-to-day basis in school, okay, not just at home, but also in school. Because when you're young, you have like the main focuses of your life. That is usually your home life and your school life. And that's it. Because you're a child, you're a kid, or however you'd like to word it. I think child is a much better term because a kid is actually a baby of a goat. When you're a child, you don't have work, so there's no work life. Cross that out. No finances, usually. No financial life, cross that out. It's home and school. Okay, we can agree on that. And in school for me, apart from home, I mean, it didn't get any better. It really didn't. I am how I am. And starting at that young age, you know, being 3 years old again, 3, the magic number, children didn't get along with me. I didn't know why. I had like 2 or 3 friends, and I remember so often, beautiful souls, just being in the playgrounds by myself, you know, like this little 3-year-old me, just wandering aimlessly and also communicating with nature spirits, perhaps fairies, if you will, and not having that connection to these other children. The whole playground full of children, but there was not that connection there, right? So I spent most of my upbringing being alone and playing by myself, and I always really preferred it as well. But I also grew to like it. I wouldn't say that I disliked it. I always have preferred being by myself. And if you give me a choice to be with a group of people or be by myself, you already know which I'm going to choose. Okay? That's the sort of individual that I am. And I like that. I like it that way. And there is a great power in being able to actually be with yourself as well. That's something that most people can't do. Believe it or not, they can't sit with themselves for longer than an hour without wanting to distract their minds or go out or meet people or talk to someone or text someone. Okay. So, yes, with that being said, moving on. As I mentioned in some of my other videos, I eventually experienced a lot of bullying in school, and that wasn't particularly very beneficial for my upbringing in that sense either. Along with everything else I was dealing with at home, and with parents and whatnot. However, throughout all of these trials and tribulations, I've learned so much. It has given me value. It has provided me with absolutely priceless value in that way, that I would have never changed or asked for anything else. If I could go back, if you asked me if I could exchange that experience with something else, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. Because when I see the majority of the Western population who just grow up in middle-class families, who have a mother, father, husband, wife, and that stable home environment, they don't ever get to really break out of that shell at a young age. They don't get to see beyond that comfort that their parents have provided them. You know what I mean? So when I see these other people who are living in this perfect facade of a life, okay, I actually feel kind of bad for them, because when they break out of that home environment, when they move out and they're no longer living with their parents, they're going to be exposed to so much that their parents try to cover up for them. And I actually know people who do this. And I just don't think it's the way to raise your children. Now, I'm not saying you should subject them to torture and anything bad purposely or out of spite, not at all. However, it really doesn't serve people to be covering things up for their children either, right? So one is not better than the other. By all means, a middle ground would be perfect. However, it's my experience. And moving on, what else? So I've gone over a bit about home life, school, and myself as I grew up, experienced and endured all the bullying and the pressure and the mental torture from these other children who, for some reason, just hated me with their guts. I eventually had to learn how to really love myself in that process, and that was almost impossible, as you could probably imagine, when literally the world feels like it's against you. However, I realized that I chose this life for a reason. I chose my parents for a reason. I chose this positioning for a reason. We all did, before we incarnated on Earth. So being able to transmute the beliefs about myself, which were contributing to my external environment, which I had originally attained and had been originally attached to me at birth and in the womb of my own mother, and her own beliefs being attached to me, which contributed to my own traumas and my own negative experiences in my upbringing as well. Being able to recognize that you have so much energy from within you which you can shift to shift your external reality. Okay? And that wasn't easy. It really wasn't easy, beautiful souls. It's never easy. I cannot tell you that it's all going to be fine and that everything's light and love, because sometimes it's not. It may seem that way, but deep down there is an aspect of light that is ever pervading. Okay? That's not to say it's black or white. Nonetheless, that's something I had to endure at a very, very, very young age. A considerably young age in comparison to the majority of the Western population. Okay? So, yeah, at age 12 I became addicted to smoking weed. Yeah, I tried a few different drugs. Yeah, I experienced some drug addictions from age 12 to 15. Now, for some of you watching this, you might be like, mind blown, like, what? That's so young. How? Did your parents accept this? What were they doing about it? Look, here's the thing, When you're a child, your parents really can't control you if you're doing things that they don't know about. That's how it is. So I kept a lot of my own stuff out of their sight, out of their vision, out of their view, so to speak. And that didn't last for long. Of course they tried to stop me, of course they tried to help me, of course they tried to support me, as any loving, caring mother and father would, and all of my other beautiful relatives as a part of my family as well. But at the end of the day, again, you are your own being. No one can really stop you, not unless they literally pin you down to a bed and strap you up and put you in a psych ward, okay? And that didn't happen for me. It never was going to happen. It didn't need to happen. But you see what I'm saying? There are different ways to control people, and when it comes to that situation, beautiful souls, my parents didn't have control over it. It wasn't their life. They did their best. Believe me. Yeah, looking back I can laugh, but oh my god, when I was going through that experience, you have no idea. I was in and out of hospital for suicide attempts. Like, I actually tried to take my own life multiple times. And yeah, I was self-harming. Yeah, I was experiencing all of this negativity. And that's what got me to where I am today. Isn't it beautiful? So, I am very grateful for all of the hardship. I'm extremely grateful because, again, as I mentioned, so many children are comforted to the point where they don't know what hardship is. And when they experience the tiniest difficulty, it literally fractures their whole ego. They might have a breakdown, you know. So being able to, what I'm trying to say is, learn how to adapt at a young age. Learning how to grow at a young age. Learning how to be strong at a young age. Learning how to endure at a young age. It prepares you for greatness. And that is exactly what all of these treacherous, horrific, terrific experiences throughout my upbringing prepared me for. Greatness, being the most amazing version of me. And that's currently what I'm doing and continuing to do. Okay? If you want to be successful, if you want to be rich and you want to be wealthy, if you can't handle the tiniest little difficulty in life, if you can't take the tiniest little risk, if you don't know how to handle people hating you, calling you names, wanting you dead off the face of the earth, if you can't handle that at a young age, when you get to that point and you're like, hey, I want to do something big in life, but you haven't experienced hardship already, it's gonna hit you like a blow to your head. You're not gonna know what's hit you. So I'm so grateful that I was able to experience all of these horrific things throughout my childhood, starting as a baby in my mother's womb, all the way to age 20, as I am now. And yeah, every day I wake up, I'm able to continue to learn and extract wisdom from these experiences. This is my story, okay? I never knew that I was gonna make it past age 16. I never knew that I would be able to look back and think, wow, I may not have made it, but I've sure made it in a way. And again, what I missed out, dropping out of school when I was age 16, right? Because of all of the bullying, because of the mental abuse that I endured from these reckless children, if you want to put it that way, as if I wasn't reckless enough myself, right? But nonetheless, dropped out, no regrets. Honestly, school is a prison. I'm telling you. And then I started my own company a year ago. Just about a year ago. And ever since, I've been working with clients worldwide. Teaching people how to heal themselves as I have done for me. So, there you go, beautiful souls. It's a little bit of a walkthrough. Again, I can touch more upon this in the future if need be. But, however, if you're still here at 20 minutes, then GG. And thank you for being here with me. Thank you for hearing my story. A little bit of my story. That's not all of it, but it's a little brief summary, a little overview for those of you who've requested this from me and wanted to hear more. So, I trust that I've been able to provide some insights, some motivation, inspiration for those of you who may be struggling right now, who may be in a dark place, not sure how you're going to get out. Maybe you're experiencing a rough time at school. Maybe you are a bit troubled at home with parents or siblings or family or friends. Oh yeah, and before I finish up, okay, this is definitely not a short video. Before I finish up, I want to go back and touch more upon this. I thought I'd be finishing, but no, hold up. This isn't scripted, by the way, as you can probably tell. Friends. Yeah, that's a big one. For some people, it's big. I was mostly alone throughout my childhood, as I informed you. When I did have my friends around me, from age like 3, 4 to age like 12, 13, 14, very few. I'd hang around in very tight-knitted small groups, always considered as being more like the outcasts of the school. And honestly, I would never want to put myself in huge, massive groups of people. What I do believe in, and what many other successful people also believe in, beautiful souls, is to surround yourself with those who are actually interested in learning, number 1, becoming their best version, number 2, who are positive, number 3, optimistic, strong-minded, and willing to do what it takes to succeed. These are 6 characteristics that I've just mentioned, which 95% of the population actually fail to exhibit within themselves, believe it or not. So nowadays I keep to myself, and that is simply because I am entirely focused and dedicated on creating my empire in my life and building upon what I've already built so far. And it's a lot better that way. You know, some people mention to me, hear this, some people believe that the idea of fun is going out to clubs, partying, drinking alcohol, hanging around massive groups of people who are careless and just want to have fun, which probably involves a lot of drugs as well as the alcohol. And they believe that's fun. That's what kids should do. That's what people in their 20s should do. But then when they're past that party and club phase, they gotta get their life together. So instead of me putting myself in those situations, which I don't even want to do, I don't believe that's fun, but most people consider that as being fun. Going out to clubs and getting wasted. I think that's the most stupid, insane thing that you could do to yourself when you're young. And yet most people are doing it who are my age. Insane, because they're literally messing their lives up at the start and then leaving it to their later 20s and 30s to get started. Okay, I went through that phase when I was 12. I smoked all the weed. I drank all the alcohol, okay? and I partied with myself. I took all the drugs, I took the acid, okay? But then I also tried ayahuasca, and that changed my life forever. I don't need, just because I'm 20, to go to clubs and drink alcohol, which is disgusting in my eyes, and put myself in these positions whereby I'm wasting my time and wasting my energy. I already spent my teen years taking drugs and wasting my energy. You think I want to do that now I'm in my 20s? No. See, this is what people don't realize. If you've done it when you're young, like young, 12, 13, you're over it. By the time you get to 20, it's time to actually succeed. That's where I'm coming from. That's my experience. That may not be yours. It certainly isn't for the rest of the world. But hey, not the 1%. And if you're watching this, you're definitely the 1%, because this is 25 minutes now, 26. You know what I'm saying? Comment down below if you hear me. It's crazy. But anyway, this is my story. This is my experience. I'm just here, you know, grinding this phase out. Just building and building upon my empire. Creating that solid foundation for the rest of my life. For my children, for my grandchildren, and for the rest of my family and anyone who will live on with my name. So, God bless. Thank you for being here with me on this journey, beautiful souls. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, share this video to anyone you know who will relate to this, find it to be helpful on their path. Last but not least, if you're still here watching this, you want to book a session, link down below. I provide Reiki healing, coaching, EFT tapping, and monthly plans, which are most popular with my clients that I work with. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to support me, as always, you're welcome to do so. Got a thanks button below this video, PayPal and Patreon. For monthly posts, advice, wisdom, and more. You can join us on Patreon for all of that. God bless, beautiful souls. Remember to stay strong. And if you ever feel down, just put this video on, put my healings on. I got tons of free healing videos on the channel. And just allow that to be of inspiration, of motivation. And just remember that not everything starts out fun and easy and joyful. And we're not all raised comfortably. And that's okay. It builds you up to be a strong, independent warrior of light at a young age. And that's really what the world needs. At least in my eyes. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.